Come on, please let me in.
Sorry, Kyle, you didn't pass the Kawaii-Fi Idol audition.
But we do need our token member of the opposite sex.
Kyle, would you like to be Manager-kun?
Sure, I guess.
Oh, but to get inside, you got to do the password.
Do I really have to?
No password, no entry.
Nico Nico ni.
Excellent work. All right, launch the Ava.
Ava launch!
Tetsuo! Ganida!
お兄ちゃん
It's over 9,000! Nani?
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Konnichiwa and welcome to another episode of Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast where we look into the world of anime and manga. Yes, I am not Kyle, it's Loz today. And joining me today are my co-hosts Dee and Farah.
Hello.
But Manager-kun, Kyle, he's in his rightful place in the corner. Now this is the first time it's just the three of us, and the first time the three of us have been in the studio together.
Yes.
So what have you guys been up to recently? How is 2020 going for you in the last few weeks?
I've been dead to the world.
Dead to the world.
Dead
yep.
to the existence of Kawaii-Fi as well. So hello, I'm back.
Dee's back. It's
I'm
been
alive.
a while.
I resurrected to speak of idols.
She's up. She's out.
That's
she
all
heard
it took.
idols.
That's all it took.
She came running. And
Comes to
Farah,
idols. Oh.
what have you been doing?
I've been busy at work and watching some classic anime as well.
Ooh,
and
what have you
catching
been
up.
watching?
Railgun, actually. I've been actually catching up with all the seasons because, it's Railgun and I have to. And I just started A Lull in the Sea because it's just dropped on like Netflix and Anime Lab. And you know what?
Is beautiful.
It's a beautiful show.
Yeah. I love it.
Absolute recommend.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. What you watching, Dee? Anything good?
I kind of doing research for this kind of threw me back into my old early 2010s phase of anime.
It's a good time.
So I'm just going back through them. Hiro no Kakura is waiting for me.
Just feeling those reverse harem, like 2010 vibes.
Looking back at the anime that I watched as like a preteen explains a lot about me and a lot about my taste in people now, honestly.
Wow, what a mood.
Yeah.
Reverse harems. Just
all
what
the
a time.
They were great.
We always deserve a reverse harem.
We do.
Kyle, reverse harem episode. We gotta do it.
Let's do it.
It's important and good.
He is agreeing, not with any sharp object pointed at him.
not
He's
agreeing.
I consent to this.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, I have been watching. No one asked. Hey, Laura, what have you been doing? Okay. Well, I've been watching God of High School, and I know we mentioned it literally every episode, but it is incredible. Most recent episode 9 was just so well animated. I like flipped. It was so dope. Yeah, please
I think
go watch
you mention it every time I see you.
I
as
literally
well.
can't.
And I'm like,
it's the
I
best
will.
thing this season. It's so good.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm just waiting till it's all done and then I'm going to binge watch it.
Honestly, waiting each week is so hard. And then also, I've been watching Rent a Girlfriend, which is oh wow, what trash!
Oh no.
So good, but trashy indeed. Anyway, trash aside. Today, well, the Kawaii-Fi Gals, which is us three, we've taken over the studio and we're going to talk about one of our favorite things, which is idol anime, one of our favorite genres. Yes, we love idols. We love idol boys. We love idol girls.
Sure do.
Love idols that are zombies.
Ooh.
And like idol series have been really big recently. Like they kind of smashed into the anime community and suddenly everything was just idols. There was idols all over conventions. There was cosplays. There was dance videos. There was everything.
Everywhere.
Like it's just so big. And I feel like the last 10 years you can just there was always an idol thing somewhere. So we're going to look at the first idol anime and how the genre got started.
Nico Nico ni.
Okay. What does this mean? What will be revealed? We'll come back. We'll talk about that in a bit. And if you're enjoying what you've heard so far, consider smashing that like and subscribe button and join us for future episodes. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, like most podcast apps in general, Podcast Addict, whatever you use. We'd love to have you on board for all of our future episodes, particularly coming up. We got season in review, super exciting, and a new season preview as well. So really cool. Before we get stuck into idol news, we're going to do some anime news. Let's go.
Making headlines.
Really?
Sort of.
Anime news.
All right, so it's time to look at what's been going on in the world of anime and manga in the last fortnight. Farah, take us off. Some sad news.
Yes, Australia's premier anime convention, MadFest, or Anime Fest as it's like to be referred to as now, has indeed been cancelled.
No.
Yes. So the Sydney event has now been pushed back to 2022. Which is very, very sad. They have said that, planning and delivering the event to a standard that anime fans deserve cannot happen in this present climate. So it's very sad. This is a con that I strongly support. I go to pretty much every single one. I mean, I've probably missed 2. But yeah, it's just devastating. But it's also very nice to know that they are telling fans now.
Yeah.
As
Lots
opposed
and
to
lots of warning.
waiting
Yes.
to last minute. And it just shows that we're ready when it's going to come back. And it will come back.
It
Don't
will,
worry.
absolutely.
And like Supernova just got pushed back for us here in Perth.
Yeah,
and-
December, isn't it?
December, yeah.
Look,
Maybe.
maybe. They keeps getting pushed back, and it's really hard in this current climate to know when we're going to be allowed to have those big gatherings, and it's hard
Yeah.
even if we're pretty good here in Western Australia as far as COVID goes. Moving people across states
It's
not easy.
not
It's very,
so
very hard.
It sucks, but it's also it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey Dee, what's
Hello.
up with the next news
Well,
segment?
Crunchyroll has just announced new membership tiers for its streaming services on Twitter. It has 4 tiers in the United States, which is Free, Fan, Mega Fan, and Ultimate Fan, which effectively means 3 tiers in other English-speaking territories. So Free, Fan, and Mega Fan. Mega Fan allows for downloading episodes and accessing 4 streams at once, whereas Ultimate Fan, which is sadly only available in the US, as per normal, includes offline viewing, 6 streams at once, $25 off purchases over $100 every 3 months, and an annual Ultimate Fan member swag bag. The new tiers launch worldwide in early September.
Okay, can I ask the question though?
Yeah, what's
Who
up?
is going to watch 6 anime shows at one given time?
You got to make sure you can like stack as many animes in your small tight schedule as once. You just watch 6 different shows.
If you can read really quickly, you can
my
maybe read 2
goodness.
screens at once.
you just power through one season by doing 6 episodes at
Or you
once.
put them on like half speed so that you can read them all at the same time, and then you're effectively watching the same 6 animes at once.
I'm really interested in this as a person who's been paying for Crunchyroll for quite a few years. I'm kind of confused by the different tiers, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Definitely.
sure. Well, hey, why not? I'll give it a shot, I guess.
I suppose maybe some of them, especially like with having 4 streams at once, would work for more for like a family or a household of people that.
Yeah, I guess it's like a Netflix.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
Farah's laughing at the idea of mom and dad and the kids having
And the
different
2 kids.
Crunchyroll accounts.
I mean, yeah, no.
You can't mix streams.
Don't cross the stream.
Across the streams.
Oh, okay. I swear
Well.
we are professional and know what we're doing. As far as the third news segment goes, this is extremely on brand because a new anime called Idly Project, as in idol with a Y on the end, Idly Pride Project is an official kind of YouTube music video that's come out recently, and it's going to have this anime that's coming out real soon, and we watched it today, Farah
yeah.
and Kyle and I, and it looks gorgeous. Like the animation is so beautiful, it's so
so
slick.
in.
And the first thing that you said, Farah,
Yeah.
was like, this looks like Scum's Wish. And then we looked it up and it's like, oh yeah, by the people that made Scum's Wish, Studio Lerche. And then I was like, the idols look like the characters from Idolmaster. And then we looked it up and said character Idolmaster people. I'm like, nailed
Makes
it.
sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know. I just saw that visual. I was like, oh my goodness. I am so in. I cannot wait till it's released.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's the preview looks really beautiful. It's just got some really nice kind of backgrounds, kind of rain, and
10
it looks
girls as
gorgeous.
well.
And then there's this beautiful like ending bit where they're all singing and dancing. Obviously,
Yeah.
your classic idols. 10 girls, as Farah said.
Yeah.
That's a nice even number.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
That's
for a
good.
change.
Yeah.
And something I really liked about the idol dancing in Idly Pride Project is the CG looks real smooth.
Mm-hmm. I
And-
do love me some nice CG.
Yeah, sometimes it
We've
can
had
be
some
janky,
bad
and we will talk about
CG.
that when we talk more about idols
Yep.
in the next segment. But boy, howdy, that CG can be rough sometimes. But this looks really gorgeous. So definitely look up the preview for Idly Project if you're into idols like us. And before we move on to talking more about idols, Kyle's going to take over and give us some headlines of what else has been making news.
Hey, it's Kyle here with this episode's anime headlines. The artist of recently cancelled manga series Act Age, Usazaki Shiro, has issued a statement agreeing with the decision to end the manga. The manga was cancelled in early August after its writer, Matsuki Tatsuya, was arrested under suspicion of committing an indecent act with a female middle school student. The cancellation of the manga has been polarising on social media, but in Uzaki's statement, they first expressed their sympathies for the victims and urged fans not to blame the victims for the series cancellation. Sentai Filmworks hosted their first Sentai at Home event on August 26th, a virtual convention-style event with a slew of special guests, voice actors, and anime cast. It's the first time the company's hosted an online convention, and the 2-hour show is available to watch for free on their YouTube channel. In a similar move, Crunchyroll held their first online version of the Crunchyroll Expo this weekend, with 3 days worth of panels and events. However, in an unusual move, the Expo's content is only available to watch until Monday, September the 7th, the day after the Expo ends. In sequel news, 2 2019 anime series are getting a second outing next year. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun will return to screens in April 2021, with the series production and voice cast reuniting for the second outing. Similarly, The Demon Girl Next Door is receiving a second season after originally airing in July 2019. There's no release date announced as yet for when they'll be returning to the screen. Over on the streaming platforms, and only Retro Crush has had anything major added to their back catalogue over this fortnight, romance series Haruka Nogizawa's Secret, along with the mecha OVA Metal Skin Panic and Clamp's Kobato, will arrive on the service on September 4th, 11th and 18th respectively. And on September 25th, Lupin III Part 2 will land on the service, a big win, with the series' largest part containing 155 episodes. Heading to the bookshelves, and a new Haruhi Suzumiya novel is on the way, the first in over 9 years. Called The Intuition of Haruhi Suzumiya, the new light novel will collect 3 stories, including 1 new tale, and will release both in Japan and internationally on November 25th through Yen Press. Also back is the saga of Tanya the Evil. Having had its first part come to an end this month, the series will launch its second part on September 26th in Kadokawa's monthly comp Ace magazine. The first part's ending corresponds to the anime adaptation's final episode, with an all-new story taking the series forward. The Code Geass comedy spin-off manga Katei Kiyoshi no Lelouch-san, where Lelouch is Cece's tutor, is also heading towards its finale. The August edition of Kadokawa's Comic New Type magazine marked the beginning of the manga's final arc, which has been running since 2017. Also heading towards its end, the manga adaptation of The Devil is a Part-Timer. The adaptation of the light novel series has been running since 2011 and will head into its climax on September 26. And beach volleyball manga Haruka na Receive will be ending its run on September 24th, having run since 2015. In dub news, an English dub is on the way for this season's original anime Decadence. Funimation has announced Trina Nishimura from Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia, and Gabe Kunda from Copcraft and Nanbaka as the leading characters Natsume and Kaburagi. There is no release date for the dub at this stage, but the subtitled version is streaming on all Funimation-owned services. And that's your anime news for the week ending September 6, 2020.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Anime history.
Okay, so before we start talking about anime history, I do just want to have it on record that Deanne did not get that Ghostbusters reference.
Oh, I did not, absolutely not.
And just was very confused by the "Don't cross the streams" comment.
I was just like,
and I just wanted
what?
to just call her out on the podcast.
I'm just further
how
proving,
funny that was.
I'm further proving
I'm
myself as a
pain.
millennial. It's fine.
Anyway, the young baby didn't get the reference. God bless. We're so
And
old,
then
guys.
I like looked at everyone
Oh
and
my.
so confused. I was like, I don't get.
Oh
The
my.
gif of it, like the gif of it popped into my head, not the actual part from the movie. The gif of it on like Tumblr
Wow.
popped into my head. I was like, yeah. So there you go.
Just keep digging
How
that
old
hole,
are you?
dude.
Do you get
Again,
the Ghostbusters reference, or do you not?
microwave.
Anyway, speaking of old, let's talk history. Woo! Okay, so I want to just briefly cover what is an idol, because I was talking to one of my mates before I came over to record the podcast today, and they had no idea. And I was like, oh, I mean, how do I explain what an idol is? And I was like, maybe some people might not actually know, like they see like Love Live and stuff like that as well, but do they actually know what is an idol? What is it actually referring to? So I thought I'd just kind of run through what does idol mean in this context, and then Farah's going to tell us a bit about what it means to be an idol otaku. Okay, so this is all shamelessly stolen from Wikipedia, so, don't sue me or something. Okay, so an idol or idolu, of course, is a type of entertainer that is basically manufactured or marketed. So they have a particular type of image, particular type of look and personality that they want from this one person. So when I say manufactured personality, they're taking, I want these traits in this person and kind of making this character, but it's a person and that's acting. Can I help you, Kyle? You're getting bored over there, are you? Yeah? Am I that boring to listen to? That's fine. So, for example, Kyle's character would be like the clumsy one. He's always at like the back of the group.
Amazing.
And like Farah's like in the center, and she's like the strong one who always keeps all the people together.
I like that.
And Deanne's like the sultry kind of sexy one.
Also the one that cries
Yeah.
at every part. I'm like
Nice.
super serious, and then I'm like, this is so embarrassing.
Absolutely.
I'm
So you've got
wow.
like
That's
these
me.
character tropes is basically what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. And the agency that whatever the idol belongs to really wants to keep that character as kind of a separate identity to what the person is. So when you see that person on stage, like that is that person, that is that idol, is
It's like
kind
a
of
persona.
Yeah, kind of like that kind of persona they're trying to take in. Whenever I say persona, I can't help but think the video game. I'm not trying to think about
I was
that.
thinking that too. Don't worry.
So
I
yeah,
said it and instantly I was like, persona.
she knows me. So yeah, unlike other kind of celebrities that can kind of do their own thing and like switch off and act and stuff like that, idols are that kind of commercialized person. And you've got all this merchandise towards them. There's all this talent agency riffraff that's always quite difficult to go through, and they have to really maintain that emotional connection to their manufactured personality. Because you have these incredibly well marketed idols, you have a really strong, passionate fan base.
And that's where the rules have to come in.
And that's
as
where
well.
you've got all of this kind of otaku rule thing that
Yeah.
Farah's going to talk us about. So idols have existed basically since the 1970s, which I thought was really interesting, but really boomed in like the 1990s in Japan, and really into late 2000s. You get this huge kind of rise of this kind of glittery idol culture that we see now. So big groups like AKB48, which has got like 130 members in it, which is incredibly wild.
Yeah.
And Momo Rio Clover Z, which is, or Z probably, which is one of the biggest idol groups that's ever been in Japan, were huge in like 2010s, around there as well. Huge concerts, huge fan bases, and brings in so much money. I found a statistic that says the idol industry in Japan brings over $1 billion US a year.
Yep, I can
And I was
believe
like,
that.
hot diggity, that's a lot of money.
That's so much.
And because like idols have just become this big commercialized thing, like 50 to 70% of advertising and media in Japan has an idol in it.
Yeah.
50 to 70%. Can
Wow.
you imagine watching TV and almost always seeing an idol from a band somewhere? That's nuts. So it is so big in Japan. And obviously when things are big in Japan, they're going to be put into anime as well, because that's what people want to see. So talk to me about what you want to see, Farah. Tell us about what it means to be an idol otaku.
It is a very expensive part of being an otaku in idol fandom, basically. It's a fun place to be, but you do have to follow those rules. And it's very hard to follow the rules because obviously you're coming from a Western background and stuff. We have a different idea of how we cheer, how we, support them, things like that. In Japan, it is a completely different ballpark altogether.
Yeah, so what do you mean by like a rule? So pretend I know nothing.
Okay.
What's like rule number 1?
You don't go into their personal life whatsoever.
So I can't like
That
walk
should
up.
be a general rule.
I think it should be, hey.
Honestly,
definitely.
but
Okay.
absolutely, especially I feel with idols, is
Yeah.
that they're so disconnected from that persona that they have on stage that you just should not go there.
That's it. And it's like, when you have paparazzi and stuff like that in the
Yeah.
Western culture, you don't really get that unless there's a massive drama or something
Okay.
that has gone down.
Is that because they kind of don't want to break that kind of image that they have of this
Yeah,
idol?
probably.
So you almost
make
don't want to
sense.
know what kind of inverted commas person they are behind the
Yeah.
idol mask kind of thing.
And that's when, they go through the whole idol phase and then they
Uh-huh.
graduate. Once they graduate, it's all open kind of thing. But for that period of time, you belong to that agency. You follow those rules. You don't promote that you've got a boyfriend. You don't promote that you're a drinker. That, that's NO. Saying that though, recent times, they're actually being a bit more relaxed.
getting more
almost.
relaxed.
Yeah.
I feel that they have to give them a bit of leeway because they are
They're
people
human
too.
too,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
human. And they
What?
Yeah, I know.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're my
But
Japanese anime idols.
But it's a fun culture to be a part of. You cheer for your girl or your guy, and you support them. You buy all their merch. You there's lots of ways to do it. Like in my thing is like you have like the different tiers, and we'll kind of go in a little bit about it later on. But there's like the fans who will just generally support and buy the merch, whatever.
Casual fans.
Casual fans.
Yeah, huh?
Casual, yeah.
Then there's like the ones that just want to see these girls or boys succeed in what they do. So you will support them. You'll buy their merch. You buy their checkies, which is little Polaroids with their little signatures on there.
So cute.
You buy like fan photos, things like that, to have that opportunity to meet their idol and things like that. But you just don't want you just want them to succeed. You don't want anything else other than success for them.
You just want to support them.
Exactly.
sweet.
Then you have the ones that are absolutely in love with them.
Yes.
That ain't me. I can never love an idol. That's
You love them, but you're happy to love
You're
them
happy with the
supportingly
separate-
Yeah.
from maybe afar.
So, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like Kickstarter, where you're like
Yeah.
putting forward, like, I want to put forward this much money towards this idol to see it succeed.
Yes.
yes. Pretty much that.
That's
yeah.
actually really wholesome. So, like, like buying the merch for like an upcoming idol and like
Yeah.
watching them kind of grow. Well, that's really wholesome and sweet. And on that note, like, there's a lot of anime that do that, and one of my anime that I'm talking about later is pretty much exactly that, which is super sweet. And talking of anime and manga, obviously we're just mentioning what is an idol in general, but bringing it back to anime because that's what we're here to do.
That's it.
I kind of did a little deep kind of rummage around into what was the first anime that really started featuring an idol. And originally I was like, I wonder if it was Creamy Mammy, the Magical Girl series. And boy, I was right. So yeah, high five me. So Magical Girl Creamy Anime is like a beautiful, wholesome Magical Girl series where the girl is also an idol. And that was used to launch the career of her voice actor, which is really, really cool. So it's kind of considered the first mixed media series where they used an anime and also live stage performances at the same time. Whereas now that's really normal. Like you think about Love Live and all of their live stage performances, that's just kind of assumed that would be a thing. Whereas this is the first time I did that. So that's really dope. And then that was in like 1980s. And then we look at Macross, which was really huge, Idols in Space. That's fun.
That's right.
Oh, the music, my goodness.
Macross was great. And that was kind of like early, mid 2000s. And then we start seeing these big idol animes coming in like 2010
Big franchises.
with huge franchises with like Love Live, Idol Master, Udapri, like all these big names. Bandori, that's
Yeah.
recent as well. Yeah, so all these big groups. I want to kind of do a few dot points about what do you guys think makes an anime idol show? Like, is it just because it's got idols in it? Or is there something else? What do you think?
Like music, but not just music itself, like music and singing.
Yeah, because there's lots of like music anime. There's lots of music manga and stuff. And I was thinking about some of my faves, and like Skip Beat is a really good series.
Yes.
But I wouldn't call it an idol anime because even though it follows their like careers through acting and becoming like idols, it's not like an idol anime in terms of what we consider to be idol anime. And I kind of pulled out what I kind of thought. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's got to have like a group of boys or girls. Obviously, it's separate. You don't cross the streams. And then you kind of got these group dynamics. Like all of the drama in the show comes from the characters interacting.
Yeah, it's the drama. I think that's
Yeah.
what
It's
the
really makes
interpersonal drama.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. And then like the family's got problems or whatever, and there's all this drama and stress, and there's like the stress of the idol lifestyle.
And if it's a girl anime, the dad is either never shown.
Yes.
Dad is never there for the main character, and or his face is never shown.
Like a Disney princess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically, yeah. That's such a theme in so many like
So true.
female idol animes. It's very funny.
And like you got to have the rival group
Yes.
that kind of
course.
they compete against and like they push each other, do better in the
they also
competition
love
or
each
whatever.
other.
But then they also support each other, very wholesome and nice. Obviously, you're gonna have singing, dancing, the music clips, lots of sparkles.
And the feels. It's got to have
it's got to have
feels.
those emotional hit you in the heart
Yep.
character moments. And I feel like all of the series we're about to mention have that, except for one actually. But I think that's kind of what makes kind of an idol anime. Those kind of like bits that you kind of need.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk idol anime and look at all these tropes, the thing that comes to mind is what? Love Live. Yeah. I was like, you both like looking at me like, I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah. I feel like Love Live.
Love Alive.
That was terrible, but you know what? We're gonna keep rolling.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
watched that as a kid.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Back catalogue.
We're doing real good here, guys.
Yeah.
We are on
Just
an
real,
absolute
real solid
roll.
episode. Like and subscribe. Also press F every time Kyle gives
Jumps
us a,
in, yeah.
just jumps in
break
with the music.
Break the F button, honestly.
So Love Live, Gal Pals, we love Love
Love
Live
Oh boy.
so much. Now I'm going to quickly run down what Love Live is, and it's real basic because bless, we're not here for the plot. We're here for the girls and the dancing and the songs.
Oh yeah.
The plot is the girls are dancing in the songs.
There it is. There it is, everyone. Print. We're done. But yeah, I feel like Love Live's really interesting, particularly like in Western culture, and at least with our anime community, it like slammed into us. It was
God,
like
yes.
a craze, and then suddenly there was Love Live everywhere, and there was all these
So much.
dance groups and all this merch. It was awesome. But the original Love Live is from 2010, so now I feel really old. That is 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Love Live's 10 years old.
Yeah.
This year. Had their 10-year anniversary.
Yes, they did.
I'm so proud of us. I love it. So original Love Live is centered around Honoka, who is my best girl. And the basic idea is that her school is closing down and she's like, oh no, gotta save my school. What can I do? Idols are really popular. So I guess if I make an idol group and we win at the school idol festival competition, everyone will be like, oh my God, that school's so amazing. And it'll save the school. Far-fetched idea, but you know what? It might just work.
Anime.
It's anime. So yeah, so she tries to save her school and she creates a amazing idol group called Muse, and they participate in the high school festival, and the rest is history. Really basic premise, but works very effectively.
It does.
So this is the original Love Live school idol project. And the manga started in 2012 with anime going in 2013. And then there was a game, which I actually thought was the first thing. I played the game so much.
Oh yeah.
I still do.
Spent many,
Yeah,
many
you still,
hour.
yeah, awesome. They're like a rhythm game that was on mobile. It's really fun.
So good
So
at the rhythm game now.
It's so good. It's really great. So the anime had 2 seasons and a movie finale in 2015. Oh, I remember going to the live viewing here in Perth. It was so good. So
Right,
what did you guys think about original Love Live School Idol Project? Were you a fan? Not a fan?
It wasn't what I started with. That's my thing. Like I kind of got into Love Live that season very late in the game. In saying that though, I did watch it when the dub was released because you know I'm the dub queen. But and I loved that dub. It was very good because it was a lot of the LA actors. So I really wanted to give it
Good
the
support
go
them.
it deserves basically. And it, you know what? It was good, and it was a good side of seeing Tokyo and Akihabara and basically
Yeah,
like that.
that's
So it was
true.
very, very good when it did that. You know what? It's probably not my favorite,
Yeah.
but I do love it. The
Yeah, very
favorite, but I love it, but I don't.
It's not your
Top
fave
tier.
fave.
Yeah.
D, where you at on Love Live?
I
Original.
love both of them. Like
Yeah.
I also started sort of after it had come out, and like I probably started watching School Idol Project when the dub came out as well, but I watched the sub.
Yeah.
And I was like,
This is for me.
I consumed this thing.
Yeah.
I stayed up to 2 a.m. bawling my eyes out right at the end.
I think it
season
consumed
2.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. It just was like, hey, look at this cute, nice thing. How about we just take you into a big black hole and just this is your whole life now.
Oh,
pretty
absolutely.
much.
Love Live was my whole
Yes.
life for a really long time. I actually started the Facebook group here in Perth,
Perth?
of,
Amazing.
like the original Love Live group.
I
and
still
was
have your
super into
Hanukkah
that.
figurines as well. When you were
Yes.
downsizing your collection, you were like, I am entrusting these to you. And
As
I
a
was
Hanukkah
like,
stan. I had all these
honest.
cosplays and I had all these figures and stuff. And I loved original Love Live. The story was really warm and uplifting. All the characters were great. The music was awesome.
The memes were very good
The
too.
memes
the
were
memes
really
are so
good.
Amazing
The
memes.
dances were great. It
my
was really well
favorite
produced.
meme from it is just the little coterie in the corner. It's my favorite every time. I love
Mine's
her.
the Hanukkah's dead one.
Also, that's excellent.
Mine's
And
absolute
Kyle
favorite.
was
My
just
best
like,
girl.
what? This
Oh
is not
my
a
goodness.
happy, fun anime. Yeah, it's
And like
great. It's
and like
excellent.
Nico Nico ni, which is at the start
Yeah.
of the podcast, like that's like a lot of people know that as like
Absolutely.
a phrase. I don't know what it's from, but it's from original Love Live.
Yeah.
And it was just so big and so awesome. And then they disbanded Love Live original
2016.
in 2016 with the movie, and I was so upset and sad that because they decided to bring in a new group, which is great. They wanted to rebrand, and they brought in a new group called with Love Live Sunshine, and I was so upset that I deleted the game and I got rid of all of my stuff, and I left Love Live behind.
Yep.
Because I was such a stan of original Love Live, and then a cause came in, and I just wasn't happy.
I think also a good point with that is with the original Love Live, they were very established voice actors.
Yeah.
The Says were very well established. So, and this is where it leads into Aquas where they weren't established.
And
So-
now I love it, but at the time I was grumpy.
yeah.
Anyway, so A Cause is the next Love Live called Love Live Sunshine, which started in 2016. So it really just flowed straight from End of Muse into A Cause, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And like Honoka before her, Chika, our main character, wants to stop her school from closing down in the small seaside city where she lives. So she lives in a quite small, quaint seaside village. And inspired by Muse, who obviously are active in this universe, and she's really inspired by how they saved their school. Well, spoilers. She forms an idol group called Aquas, and also decides to enter the Love Live School Idol competition.
Yes.
And yeah,
It's
Love
very
Live Sunshine is huge. It's bigger and more popular than the
yeah.
original, and
Oh
it
my
really
gosh.
I think it came at such a good time that
Yeah.
everyone had that hype from original Love Live, and there were so many people getting into the fandom, but because it was slightly older, they're like, oh, maybe I won't get
It's
into
not
the
like a
original.
recent
That was
anime.
me.
And then because they rebooted it, everyone's like, oh, I can now get into this.
Yep.
And that's you guys. Like, you guys
Yeah,
are all big into A
absolutely.
Cause. So talk to me about A Cause, particularly you, Farah. I know
Yeah.
how much you love
you
this
probably
band.
you have I feel the most lengthy knowledge of this.
Yeah, I mean, I deliberately wanted to start with Aquas. That
Yeah.
was just like, yep, no, I love Live, but I really want to just, see how these fans get really into it. And I thought, I'm not going to be like that. I'm just going to be that casual fan.
Casual fan.
Oh, no, that never happened. I was like, when it was dropping on Anime Lab, I was waiting 11 or 12 o'clock at night just to watch that episode. And I was just like, the progression was just like, it's a basic story, but it was so good. Like the characters are
It's
really
all about the characters.
Yeah, it
They
was
know their
all about the
storyline
characters.
and they know what works and how to get the feels out of you.
Yeah.
And really just get those gut wrenching good
Oh
feelings.
God, yeah.
Well, it's the same formula like we were talking about before. Like it's
Yeah.
a group of 9,
Yes.
and they kind of have their character struggles and their dramas and how do you make an idol group and how do we do our songs and
Yeah.
our dancing and how do we struggle with being an idol?
The
you know?
main character also has short orange hair.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Of course she
Different
does.
coloured eye.
I think with the Aquas though, the characters' stories were a lot more deeper and a lot more
absolutely.
challenging in a
And
way.
diverse. I
Yeah.
found as well the characters are very, very different. And it goes more into like the emotional side of the characters
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like their personal lives rather than just what they do in their school.
Yeah, so it had more depth. I think that's why people were more drawn to
Yeah.
it. And speaking of being drawn to it, Farah,
Yes.
you weren't just drawn to it here in Australia.
Oh no.
You traveled, y'all.
Yeah, this was actually what got me to Japan. Like,
Yep.
it was 2018 when they offered the first opportunity to actually go to Japan for the 4th live as a foreigner, and I was like, when am I ever going to get the opportunity to be
Yeah, fair.
a Love Live?
Yeah.
live?
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like, you have to go through lotteries and things like that. I was like,
Yeah.
no way it's going to happen for me. And when they offered it, I was like, I have to.
Have to try.
Yeah.
Got to do it. Got to put my name in for that foreigner lottery, and I got it. And I was like, this is it. This is my
amazing.
ticket to going to
Yeah.
Japan. This is going to be my solo trip. I'm going to do it. It was the best experience of my life because
I
I got
bet.
to go to Tokyo Dome,
Oh,
sit on the arena.
Tokyo Dome would be beautiful.
Yeah, it
for
was-
an Aquas
It was
Live.
Christmas time as well. So you can imagine just outside Tokyo Dome, it was just lit up with Christmas lights and it was just beautiful, cold. Oh, it was just magical. And, just being in that crowd,
That's so cool.
Absolutely.
seeing these girls that you really wanted to see for like so long and just, it was
Yeah,
amazing.
every time I because we get delayed viewings here in
Yeah.
Perth, every time I watch one of them, I just end up bawling my eyes out
It
right
was-
at the
yeah.
end.
It's real emotional.
So emotional.
For those who don't exactly know what we're talking about, when Farah says she watched the live concert, she's watching the voice actors, who are the
Yes.
singers for the characters in the anime, wearing the cosplay effectively,
Basically,
and
yeah.
being those characters on stage.
Yes.
So you can look at them on YouTube. All the official YouTubes put up the live shows, which is really cool.
Yeah, actually, one's going to be released very soon. The 5th Live.
Yeah, so
Yes.
the one,
So
the one that just
excited.
happened in January.
No, this is the one previously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And you can watch these incredible live performances and the dances that they do in the anime and the songs that they sing, and it's pretty awesome.
It's huge.
And the
Yeah.
fans go off. Oh my gosh.
They feel like they sell out Tokyo Dome. I think I remember
did.
once looking, it's like 14,000 seats or something like
That's
that.
too many people.
More than that? Or
Yeah.
maybe it's 40,000.
40,
I don't know.
it was a
I
lot,
think it's
at least 40,
40,000,
50,000. Yeah.
I know there's a 4 in it somewhere, but think about how many people that is. And that's at least maybe half, less than half, a third of the actual
That's nuts.
group.
Yeah.
or like fandom that follow this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Because there's millions of Love
So
Live
big.
fans all around the world, and I'm not just exaggerating. There are.
Yeah,
You
there
see
are
it,
millions.
and
It's
it's
huge.
amazing. But it actually made me go again. I actually managed to get myself a ticket to go to Fifth Live. So it was the best way to get to Japan is to actually go for a live. Like the culture that you have with going for a live
awesome.
is just amazing. I was saying to Loz before the fourth live, actually the day of the live, I went to Candace Shrine. I went to all the little hotspots that, Muse was a part of.
The idol otaku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the proper, like, I went to Akihabara, saw the big screen where, they first introduced Love Live, going to Kanda Shrine, which is the idol shrine, going down those stairs, which is very iconic for
Those
Love Live.
are some iconic stairs.
Very iconic stairs. And,
I love those stairs.
That's when you know you're a otaku for something, when you go to the stairs.
And you
That's
can
like-
visualize anime. You're like, why do you
Yeah.
want to go here? Because it was in this anime.
Like, I want to go to Japan and do the Persona 5 tour where
Yes.
you can, like, go to, like, this particular laneway that something's inspired by.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so sad, but I still really want to do it.
I want to.
But yeah, it was just like amazing. And just, you feel that vibe. Like, I know they're 2D characters, but you go there and you feel like they're real.
They're a part of your life. That's
Exactly.
So
They
important
They
and
also,
beautiful.
they become a part of your life, and then they consume more and more and more aspects of your life until they consume you completely, and you basically become the idol.
But it's like, especially with Aquas, I really want to do one when Corona lets me go to Japan again.
Big mood.
Actually go to the town where Sunshine was set,
Yes.
and that would be
Seaside town.
Yeah.
It looks so cute.
Apparently, Love Live is just taken over there,
Yeah.
basically. So
They have the little.
Are you gonna-
the
yeah,
potholes
yeah, the
on
pothole
ground?
covers, yeah. And like I remember seeing, Dee and I talk about the same thing. I remember seeing like a video or an Instagram post or whatever, and the pothole covers that they have on the streets have
Yes.
Love Live Sunshine characters
Yeah.
on
the
them,
characters on them,
which is so cute.
my favorite was seeing the taxis.
The taxis have
Yes,
Love Live
the
characters
Love
on
Live
them.
taxis.
Oh my goodness.
That's a taxi I would take.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Now, Dee,
Hello.
we love idols, but
We do.
you've actually been an idol.
I have been.
So
a
please
certified
tell us.
idol.
Please tell us about being an IRL idol in a Love Live dance cover group.
Yeah. So that's actually the reason that I kind of got into Love Live. Was a friend was like, "Come cosplay this thing with me," and I was like, "All right, let's go. What are we gonna do?" She's like, "We're gonna dance and we're gonna be idols." And I was like, "Sick, sounds great." Heap of things that I love. I love sewing, love cosplaying, and I love dancing. I've always been a dancer my whole life. And so I was one of 3 like original leaders of a group in Perth by the name of Palettes, which is an alternative name for what Muse was originally looking at, which is where we got that from.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and one of my friends was like, "Yeah, we're Palettes." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then she was like,
Then you found out
You
why.
know that's a reference, right?" And I was like, "Oh, it is too."
Oh, beans.
References are not my strong suit, as
Yeah,
we
clearly.
know.
As we know.
As we
yeah.
We have figured it out. And so we did that for a little bit, and
Performed at all our conventions.
performed at a lot of conventions.
Yeah.
I also became an honorary member of another group by the name of Staluna Dance when one of their members was away, which was great. It's always fun to like try different group dynamics and see where you go.
I was just going to say, with the Perth Idol group, there's a lot of cross between the
There is
groups
a
and stuff.
lot,
And it's
yeah.
really nice to see.
It's really good. I think it's also because we're really small.
Yes,
That, like,
that's true too.
So it's like, oh yeah, there's 9 girls. Do you know how hard it is to find 9 girls that are willing to dance, sew costumes, and like perform on stage? It's really hard.
So fair.
It's real hard. And then like trying to find that not everyone's best girl is the same, or like people have multiple best girls. So when we,
Who do you want to
my
be the
2
idol of?
girls that I cosplayed
Yeah.
was Kotori from Muse and then Yoshiko from Aquas. So Yoshiko's my best girl from it, which was great. Kotori was my second, but Nico was my first.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the other
Nico's
girls, one of my
always been
friends,
my
was
first.
like, "Nico's my absolute favorite. I don't like anyone else. I only want to do her." And I was like, "Look, that's why I'm going to give it to you because I have other best girls. So I'm happy to just let you do that." So it's just like, I'm kind of just happy to perform, to be honest. So
Awesome.
I'm always like, "You guys want me to do something? I'll do something. I'll go for it."
Look, I'm not a cosplayer or anything like that, but I know what it is to have your best girl, and I have a best girl, and
What's
it's
your best
Dio.
girl?
Dio
Dio's
Kurosawa.
very good.
Yeah.
At first I was like, I don't really like her that much. And now I'm like, I would die. I would
For
die
that
for this
woman,
woman.
yes.
Absolutely.
I've
I
got
would
a
die for this 2D
shrine
character.
in my house on
Yes.
her.
Oh my god, I want to see a shrine.
Yeah, I'll take fun and bring
It's
it.
so good.
Please.
Yeah.
The idol community, especially in Perth and especially for like the live performers as well, is really, really nice. Like
Tight.
we're really tight. We're all really good friends, which is how you and I became friends. Was we just everyone supports everyone. Everyone is just like, "Oh, you're going and performing at this one thing. Like, cool, I'm going to come watch you. I had no interest in going, but I'm going to go now.
Yeah, literally when we're at cons and you know that the group's performing, you'll literally run to go and support your friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wholesome. Such wholesome
My
content.
at MadFest in Perth last year,
Yeah.
I was working at one of the cosplay booths at the Demon Slayer booth, and I could hear the Steluna girls and some of the Palettes girls performing in the background, and
so
I was like,
good.
I want to see my girls right now, and they were like, you guys can go on break now, and I literally sprinted across the
Literally
convention
me as
hall.
well, because I was
Was like,
working that con
"Hello."
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like it's kind of crowded in here. I was like, I don't care. I just want to see
Let
them.
me in, just like elbowing
look
people
at
out of the way.
them.
I need to see my loves. That's so dope. I
It's-
really love that supportive culture that we have here, and I feel like that's just idol culture in general. Like
Definitely.
that, I want to support this person to get to where they want to
It's
go.
a very Australian thing, I think,
It is,
as well.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And like the idol being like a cosplay idol is also like a very, very big commitment. Like when I
Yeah.
was in Palettes, we did like practicing once a week. Then we had what we called like sweatshop, where we got together on another day in the week and sewed for like 8 hours.
whoa.
And then
Insane.
sometimes we'd have like another practice or another dress rehearsal, or we'd have shoots, or we'd like have the little like if we were doing subunit like practices as well, we'd have those.
So
off
many
and stuff like
dances you
that.
got to learn.
So much.
With that, did you feel like you were an actual idol group? Like, did you have those challenges and things like that?
Absolutely.
The
Like,
pressure.
no matter how good friends you are with these 9 girls, you're tired, you're stressed. The night before a convention, I basically had, like, the night before a performance, I had a checklist in my brain that I was like, someone's going to cry, something's going to break. We're probably going to get Macca's or pizza after this.
Yeah.
Like, someone's going to rip half their costume off after we do one whole dress rehearsal in it. But also, everything's still going to go wrong on the day, and we'll fix it. It's fine.
Living that IRL idol life. So
Absolutely.
that's how you kind of got into idol culture. Is you
Yes.
literally just became. You just kind of ran full sprint
I was like,
into
hey,
idols.
this is cute. Why don't I run and
Yeah.
just head dive straight into it?
What about you, Farah? How did you get into idols first?
I think for me, it was definitely Love Live Sunshine. But in saying that, it kind of ties in with the whole Madfest thing. God bless Madfest, to be honest. But like, they are very big in the idol community
Yeah, they
scene
love
as
their
well.
huge.
They're such big support.
And what I love about Madfest is that they want to promote these groups.
Yeah.
No matter where in Australia, they will promote them. And I just remember it was 2017, I was in Melbourne, and it was just building up the whole dance cover scene and things like that. But a group that was performing that is an established idol group is AGS 10-2.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Don't
Rest in
say that,
peace.
Loz.
I'm so sorry.
I
My heart.
Farah was very
got
sad
to see
that they're
them
disbanding.
when I went to Smash last
I
year.
thought about the start of the year as well,
And
yeah.
I got there and I was like, this is the
They're very, very
monumental
good.
moment. Oh,
And
Yeah.
you guys can't see this, but Farah has one of their light sticks.
And I'm
And a
literally like
t-shirt.
wearing their
I
merch
was
as
literally just
well.
looking at it. I was
Shirt.
like, that's an AGS shirt.
It is an AGS shirt.
Can I just like say for people who have no idea, what's up with the light sticks? Like, why do people have these light sticks when they're
they're
watching
the-
live
This
performances?
is the best thing for
So they are
performances.
to help you support your girl
Yes.
or
Okay.
your boy,
Or your
and it's your character.
colour.
Yeah,
so all of the characters have a particular color. They're
Yeah.
kind of like the Power Rangers, and generally the
Yes.
red kind of one is in the center, red or orange,
Red or
yeah,
orange.
red or
And
orange
then-
generally
and they're all different colored girls and boys, and so
Yeah.
you change the color of your light to
to
show your
support your girl
That's super
or
cute.
boy.
A tip for any cosplayer that's going to get into idols is don't do both of the characters that are white because it sucks. Because all of your
Oh,
outfits
really?
are then white. Yes, and then coffee is a cosplayer's
okay,
best friend,
fair.
but a costume's worst enemy.
So you've sewn a lot of white outfits,
So much
and that's
white.
been bad.
yes, I never want to look at white ever again.
That's very fair.
But yeah, back to like I remember just like watching in 2017 in Melbourne, and there was AJ's performing, and it was just like I could see these like this group of people in the crowd just like chanting and cheering. And I remember I got like in my little VIP bag, a little light stick. I said to my friend, "Look, you can go wander or sandbag, hold my bag. I'm just gonna like join in."
vibe.
Hold
I
my
had
stuff.
no idea what I was doing. I literally just jumped in and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna copy. Right, I'm just gonna start cheering. And from then, that was it. I was like,
Yeah.
I am going to be a part of this culture.
Absolutely.
This is it. I'm obsessed.
So that's Wota, isn't it?
Wotagei, yeah.
Wota in
Wotagei.
when you've
Yeah.
got the light stick and you're kind of like dancing along,
chanting.
the chanting along to the song, and you're like, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Like the call and response. From
I mean,
the
you don't see a
idols.
lot of females doing it.
No,
Like, there's
you
a
don't.
fair, maybe a couple of them doing it,
Yeah.
but it is so much fun. It's like
like
a real
moshing
exercise.
for
Like,
idols.
yes. There we go. It is
It's
moshing
for idols.
It
with
is,
glow
basically.
sticks.
I feel like
Synchronized.
every idol community in Australia knows you as well.
Are you
Because
serious?
Absolutely. No matter where I go, I'm like,
Fangirl
I
number
know.
one.
People will I'll be like, I'm from Perth, and they're like, do you know Farah? I'm like, yes,
Oh,
I know Farah. I was
no.
like, of
No, that's
course I do.
awesome.
Yes.
Oh my
They
goodness.
do. Hashtag big in fandom. Farah, queen of
Big.
the idols.
Absolutely.
It's like
It's like
exploding
the
right
Amy's
now.
girls as well are like, hey, I know Farah. And I'm like, yes.
That's so
Yeah, well, it's just because I support them. So.
No,
Yeah,
that's
fair.
awesome.
It's great.
Like this is really cool talking to you guys about how you got into it because it's kind of like new school idol culture, whereas I was like real old school idol culture and then I left it for a really long time, dipped my feet in and then kind of left again. But I originally was kind of into like when I was in high school, I was really into like visual K bands. So really over the top kind of metal rock bands that had these incredibly stupid outfits that were kind of the sparkly goth versions of the sparkly outfits you see in Idol today. And
Yeah,
that kind of
basically.
culture, I was really into that. And I was in love with Gact, who was one of the
Oh, yeah.
leader of Malice Miser. And he was so beautiful. And look, he still is very
Still is.
attractive.
Come on.
At like 48.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he got made into like a Vocaloid and stuff like that as well. And that was really cool.
did
So that was
too.
like, that was my entry into Idols, was like being really into visual K bands and then kind of getting into Vocaloid and stuff like that as well. And then when Love Live popped up, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. And then I left.
Yeah, you're like, I love this. Bye.
Did you guys go to live viewings as well?
Of Love
Love
Live.
Live?
Yeah, I
did,
went
yeah.
to some of them.
Yeah,
when they
I would cosplay to them as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. They show like the Love Live on the big screen, everyone's dancing along, or like they're showing the concerts in the cinemas or something.
Yeah.
I cry every time.
So that's enough on Love Live. We love it. But
We do it.
let's talk about some other things.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
And now for our feature presentation.
Now featuring.
Okay, so we clearly love Love Live.
Yes.
But it's not the only idol anime out there, and we really want to share with you some of our other recommendations. If you're trying to get into the genre or you want to see something slightly different, if you've already seen Love Live, whether you liked it or not, you might be looking for something else. So we've got a few different things here
Yes.
that are still idol anime, but they're slightly different. So you've got an interesting show here, Farah. You want to tell
Yeah,
us
it's a
about?
bit of a mouthful to say, so I'm going to just try and quickly say it's my favorite pop idol made it to the Budokan, I would die.
If your favorite pop idol made it to the Budokan, you would die.
I would die.
Okay, well, rest in peace, I guess.
Yeah, I just call it Budokan. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Budokan is what we'll be
Budokan,
referring
Budokan,
to.
you
Got
know.
you. Yeah.
Here we go. I love this anime. It is very, very good. It follows this one character, how she became a wata for an idol group.
So a big
And-
otaku.
Yeah,
type
big
thing.
otaku, you know, idol otaku. And it shows you the basically two sides of the story. So you see the idol side of the picture, like the background of these idols and their characters and, you know, everything behind that. But you also see the fan side of it as well. So it's a really clever anime. I highly recommend if you want to see the sides of you know, the otaku and the idol side as well. Highly recommend. It is by 8-Bit Studio, so it's nice. It
looks
was
really pretty.
dubbed by Funimation, so it has a pretty good dub. They didn't dub the music, thank goodness. But it's a solid dub, solid anime, beautifully done. It's just visually pleasing, but it's a very good gateway to understanding idol culture. Highly recommend.
So is it kind of like comedy? Is it drama? Like what kind of
It's a very
sub-genre?
slice of life in a way.
Okay,
yeah.
that's really cool. So it's like, because I've only seen the first episode of this, so I just watched it today.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, it's basically got your big number one fan,
Yep.
and she's in love, in inverted commas love,
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know.
because it's not,
hard.
you can't say you're in love with an idol. She's
but-
the biggest fan of one of the members
Yes,
of the group.
yes.
Yeah.
But in saying that, though, you kind of see. I won't spoil it because if I spoil it, then it just ruins the show, and it's something you definitely have to watch, Loz. Because
Okay,
yeah,
I'll keep watching. But anyway, so the main character we follow is like a real big fan of one of the members of the group,
who's a bit of the
and she's
loser of the group,
and she's not the most popular.
No,
of the
she's
group,
not the popular
which I
one.
think was really cool, and it kind of follows those two as
She's the number one fan of this girl.
That's
So,
really sweet.
Yeah, it's amazing, and like you see the different sides of the otaku, like the one that really wants to support, which is very much like me, and the ones that's just desperately in love with their idol, and yeah, you see all sides of it.
Okay.
Very, very good. I probably give it 10 out of 10 because I just enjoyed it.
you like it that
so
much.
Yeah.
So would this be maybe a better kind of look into
Yeah,
idol
I
culture
would.
than most things?
I like the music's great. It's great to see how, you know, because it also shows the sides of idols. Like when they're not idols, you don't go near them.
Yeah.
You see that they're in different jobs, like they work in maid cafes and things like that, like they're actual real people. But it's like very, very, very well.
So you said real people. You know what's not a real person?
What?
A zombie. And
yes.
So Zombieland Saga is a show that Farah and I both love so much.
Goodness, yes.
And that's our next one. And the best thing about Zombieland Saga is it's got all of those like tropes that we talked about before. It's got a group, just like Budokan as well, and like Love Live, it's got a group of idols, and it's got them, you know, facing their daily struggles, slice of life, their character drama, how they become idols, how they debut. But they're zombies.
Isn't it just amazing how this is the concept is like they're zombies?
It's so funny. It's such a good show. It was, I think you said before, Farah, it was actually nominated for Crunchyroll Anime of the Year.
It was, yeah.
That was 2019, 2016.
I think it was last year, yeah.
I what year is it now? I don't even know.
2018 it came out, so I'm thinking it would have been
2019 awards.
It was. So it was like October to December 2018, so it would have been for that following year.
Yeah. And it's just a beautifully animated anime because it was done by Studio Mappa.
Yes.
And everything Studio Mappa does, I'm a fan of. I say this every time.
It kind of has that trigger feel as well. I don't know what it is.
I think it's this kind of slapstick comedy. And it is. And if you are maybe not into idols because you kind of think it's a bit cheesy or whatever, like please try Zombieland Saga. It's so funny.
Yeah, we got Magic-kun Carl before watching a little bit of this, and we were like, he's like, oh really? Like what? And I was like, watch this clip, Loz. Put it on. It's the first scene off the show.
First 5 minutes of the show.
And he was in stitches, in pain,
instantly
laughing.
It's such a, like, opening is so solid. It's just, it's a great show. Please try it out.
Yeah, the OP, my goodness, is
OP's great.
Fantastic. Just, I highly recommend it. It's very good with the storytelling as well.
Yeah. Really diverse characters, and basically follows these girls as they're trying to revive the prefecture of Saga. And the reason why they've been revived themselves from being dead idols is because this guy's like, I need to form a super group of idols, and all of these idols have died over time in like the prime of their life, so I'll just bring them back as zombies and
bring them back.
Cover up their zombie faces and just kind of put them in cute outfits and put them on the stage, and we'll see what happens.
The best thing you'll ever see from that show is the rap battle.
The rap battle's
epic.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen the rap battle, and the rap battle is the best thing.
It's so funny.
Look, the only downfall, unfortunately, guys, if you are watching on Anime Lab, it does have the dub songs.
Yeah, I don't like the English versions of the songs. They're not as strong.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to diss you guys, but I'm not a big fan of that.
Bad choice. So try and catch this one on Crunchyroll if you can. At Anime Lab also as well. 10 out of 10. We love this so much.
But you know what else is on Anime Lab at the moment?
What else is on Anime Lab?
A little show called 22/7.
Okay, tell me about this because I have never seen this.
Well, okay, this is an interesting one. Like Carl and I were talking about this. He's missing somewhere. Anyway, we did talk about this before. Now, this was one show that actually started as the virtual idol, like on YouTube and things like that.
So, kind of like how Love 5 started.
So actually,
music, yeah.
Well, this didn't start with a story. This was actually the idol group.
Oh, okay. So like IRL people.
Yeah, real people, and given little personas of their characters, basically. And then they had like these little character stories and build up online, and they used to do these like shows in Japan. They still do the weekly TV shows with
cool.
And it's all 3D and stuff like that. Oh, not 3D. What's that? Virtual?
CGI?
Yeah, CGI. That's it.
Like, yeah, so and like a lot of idol shows have that. They don't have the classically animated drawing or animated girls or boys when they're dancing. They use like a CGI to kind of get the movements.
And
so
it's actually, I'm just going to bring up Madfest again. Last year, they actually had one of the characters CGI interview panel.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yes, so it was very, very well done.
So why should I watch this show that I know nothing about?
Okay, so we look at each character.
Okay.
And how they became into this. Like, they all kind of connected in a way because there was some turmoil in their life that they resolve it because they are becoming idols.
Okay, so
but,
is that going to solve my life problems if I get into an idol group? Is that going to help me?
I mean, talking from personal experience, maybe. But it also might destroy your sleep schedule. So long as that's not cherished, it's fine.
The really crazy thing about the show is there's a wall.
What? There's a wall.
A wall.
The wall tells the girls what they have to do.
Okay, so when you say wall, you mean like a bedroom wall?
I mean a very artistically sculptured wall with a big, I'm pretty sure it's like a lion head, if I'm not mistaken, that shoots out the messages to the girls and to the group of what they have to do.
Okay, now I'm very lost.
Yes, and that's how everyone felt when they first started watching the show. It? Because I think it worked out well for the characters themselves and the music. My goodness, the music was incredible.
Okay, so the music's good, but there is like a wall, very Shakespearean kind of. To
yes,
tell them
I think
what
that's
to
the
do.
device is that the wall is a device basically.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
I love at times it was very badly animated because you knew that they just did not want to put their budget in one episode and it was just very choppy. But for the most part, it told a very deep story for each girl.
Okay.
You saw their background. You saw how they, like the first girl, the main girl, it was a very depressing story. And that was what originally was 22/7. It was meant to be a very depressing but a very real,
So as opposed to like Zombieland Saga, which is like slapstick
Yeah,
comedy,
yeah.
this is kind of like more emotional drama.
Yeah.
And then your Budokan's kind of a bit of both.
bit of both, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
With 22/7 though, it's like, it's just weird, but I love it. Yeah, it's definitely something worth seeing. So
Awesome. Yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about idol girls. Let's talk about some idol boys.
Ooh.
Deanne, one of your favorite things is... Go forth.
One of my favorite idol animes that I went my early stages of watching anime was Uda no Prince Summer, and it is such a beautiful, beautiful anime. It originally started as a reverse harem visual novel game in 2010, so we do love that.
A dating sim.
It is a little bit of a dating sim. All of the boys are really beautiful. They're really sweet. You've got all the different kinds of boys.
They all fawn on the main girl.
Classic. It takes a little bit of a more interesting twist with like the idol aspects of it. So all the guys are idols and the main girl wants to be a composer for the idol. So it kind of talks about the background that actually goes into becoming an idol. So they go to this school... academy, one of those, and
very prestigious,
very prestigious, but they've got classes for all of the different people, so like different instruments that all of the idols can play, like singing and like composers and dancers and costume makers and all those kinds of things.
So it's Hogwarts, but it's for idol music school.
Yes, actually, it is basically exactly that. It is basically exactly that. And I love this show. I didn't realize that there was 4 seasons of it. We found that out.
Yeah, when I was looking through Wikipedia,
4?
It was like 4 seasons and a movie, and I was like, this went on for so much longer than I thought it
So
did,
much
because I watched
longer.
season 1 and I enjoyed it because as much as most of us here, I do appreciate the beautiful Bishonen pretty boy.
Absolutely.
But boy, was it a very cheesy show.
It's cheesy.
Real sparkly. It's very saccharine sweet.
Yes.
And I never watched more than one season, but
I watched
it was
2.
It's fun. So this is really sweet because it is so cute, and obviously the boys are beautiful, and it has fun character drama between the boys and stuff like that as well. But I personally, Dee, tell me what you think, but I cannot stand the main character, and that's because obviously she's like a self-insert for the visual novel and for the anime. Kind of, you can imagine yourself and all these as the girl and all these boys fawn over you. That's kind of the idea of like harem and reverse harem anime. But she was so boring and silly and just badly written that I found it really difficult to watch.
She was really badly written. She gets like better. She kind of grows as a character more towards the end of season 1, definitely in season 2. But also I found when I watched season 2 that it almost felt like she was a totally different character, and I was like, where did you come from?
Too much development. Go back.
Reverse.
do you think you're meant to hate her though?
I would like to hope not.
No.
Because I think that would be kind of bad if you're supposed to hate the main girl. I just found it boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas like the show I want to talk about next, if are you done on this show? Okay, I'll use that as a little segue. Here we go. All aboard the segue. Woo! The idol anime that has a really good main character that is a female and takes the same spot that the main girl does in Udapri is the manager from Idolish 7.
Yes.
And she's an excellent character. So I just feel like in Udapri it was just bad writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's also the same thing. Like in the game you play for Idolish 7, which is a mobile game, you are the manager of this idol group. And that's your self-insert character. But in the anime, they've given her like a really solid character personality. Like she's her own character on her own. You don't hate her because she's boring.
Yeah.
And she's actually a great character. So yeah, they
She
can be
also
done.
had like a nicer backstory, whereas with Udapri, it was kind of a sob story that was like very, very depressing.
Very like
And you were like, this is unnecessary. I just want to watch this for the pretty boys.
Yeah, but it's an anime, idol anime.
But it just like, it was like all of these anime boys and then just diverts real.
Fair.
And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, okay.
It's kinda
Whereas
like-
Idolish handles it so much better.
oh no, Bella Swan, what a terrible backstory.
She
I'm
is
so
basically
sad.
the Bella
Please
Swan
love
of idol
me.
animes.
Ew.
No.
Sorry, I had to make that look.
Anyway, please.
I'm a sad
Amazing, you
person person.
it.
Oh, look, all these boys have fallen in love with me. It's a teenage dream.
Let us talk about Idolish 7. Let us fawn over those boys, please.
Okay, Idolish 7 is one of my favorite idol animes, and I think it stands so far above the rest. And I'm kind of here just to like spread my love to you, Farah.
Oh, yeah?
Because I know that you kind of exist in the girl idol zone.
Yes.
You don't really do boy idols as much.
No.
And I think that Idolish 7 is the best male idol anime.
Yes.
I also think it's actually one of the best idol anime in general.
Okay.
In terms of how the story goes with this group of 7 boys that have all got into this new agency. It's where it starts. And the girl character comes in and she's the manager for them. And it's how they build from the ground up their idol group. It's how they debut, they make their songs, and how they do their dances,
I
their
like
first
that.
concert.
It's really
the drama
cute.
comes in. The intercharacter drama is really great. The family drama is great. The songs are amazing.
Okay.
Dance is great. Everything
The
I feel
dances
like
are
is just tick, tick,
fantastic.
tick. But it actually took a different plot route than I thought it was going to, which surprised me.
Oh.
And I think that when you sit down to watch an idol anime, you can generally think, I know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I know, like, it's kind of like watching a shonen. You're like, the main character's going to win because that's what the trope is and that's what's going to happen. Naruto's going to win because of course he will.
Because he's Naruto.
Because he's Naruto. And so I kind of thought it would do that, but it kind of did a little different things here and there. So I really enjoyed that.
I do think that's a new thing with the idol anime that's coming out recently, is that they want to throw you off completely.
Yeah, they're
off track.
trying to do something different. Like
Yeah.
that's with Zombieland Saga as well, with Budokan, with 22/7. Like
Yeah.
they're all taking that idol genre and then doing something different with it to keep it fresh. Otherwise, it's just going to be Love Live over and over and over again. Oh, I forgot to finish pushing my Idol 7 agenda. Yes. You can watch it on Anime Lab and Crunchyroll.
Yes.
I was just going to
It
ask
is
you
readily
that.
available.
Yes. So also Idolish 7 has one original anime that came out ages ago, like 2015. I haven't write it down because for some reason. And then the second season came out this year.
Yeah,
But then got
kind of
cut in half
revived it.
because of COVID. So
Yes.
the second half of the season, or the rest of the season, because only 4 episodes came out, is starting again in October. So that's super exciting. There's also a 8-episode OVA series that's exclusive to YouTube, which covers their rival band. Talking before about all of the idols bands always have to have a rival band, and their rival band Trigger, it covers their story. So everyone go watch Idolish 7. Come back to me when you're done.
All right,
Do
we'll
it
do.
right now. Bye. Go.
All right, see ya.
Another new different one that's coming out soon, which is one of my very close to my home because I've been listening and waiting for this to come out for ages, is Hypnosis Mic.
I
Oh,
am so excited.
yes.
This comes out in October.
Oh, I can't wait.
And this is another boy group. And
It is a boy
Hypnosis
group.
Mic, can you give us a rundown of what Hip Mic is, please, Dee?
So basically, there's no wars in the world anymore. They fight using this device called Hypnosis Microphone. The world is also run solely by women. Men aren't in charge anymore. Which I was like, oh, this could take a really weird turn. It's actually done really well. There's a couple of volumes of the manga out. But basically, there's like 4 groups with 3 guys in them, all varying age ranges. And they rap battle. That's how you win, is you use this Hypnosis Microphone to rap with each other.
Amazing.
Hip Mic is so cool because it's basically just a bunch of like YouTube clips of these bands like rap battling each other.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to mention Hip Mic in particular when talking about things that subvert genres and how all of these shows have done something slightly different is Hypnosis Mic is not that glittery idol style
it's not at all.
music.
Yeah.
It's rap battles, and when they do the videos they show you the actual people rapping as well, so the actual voice actors, which is super cool. And I'm really excited for this anime to come out, so do check out
Really
some of the
grungy.
songs on YouTube.
Yes.
And get hyped for the anime, which is next season, so we
can't
will
wait.
obviously talk more about that when it comes
This
in.
has been around, like, teased, and maybe it was going to be a game, and maybe it was
Now
only going
it's
to be a
finally
manga
here.
for, like, maybe 2 years. And I remember first hearing the first songs come out and being like, I'm down for this. I can really vibe with this. And then it just disappearing off the face of the earth. And I was like, where'd it go? So now that's coming back as anime, I'm stoked.
Yeah, so excited.
So stoked.
A few more things I want to drop in the anime boy bucket, and that is something that if you haven't seen it, I just need people just to go onto YouTube or whatever and just watch an episode of Sekko Boys, just because
Oh
it's
my
so incredibly
goodness
wild.
me.
And it's your classic idol anime. Everything is
Sure
cut of the
is.
same cloth, except the idols are Greco-Roman busts of statues, and it's bizarre. Like if you Google Sekko Boys, so SEKKO boys, you just see like this idol anime and everything's exactly the same as it would be in like an Idolish 7 or Udapri, except it's replaced with these half busts that are like Greek statues. And
love
it's
that.
so funny and so strange. But yeah, that's another one that I just want to throw out there.
I forgot about that.
Never
honestly.
forget.
I don't know how. I swear I thought that was a fever
a
dream.
while ago,
It's
wasn't
kind
it?
of a fever dream.
Yeah.
So Second Voice is great. Okay, now to close, we cannot talk about idols without mentioning Miku.
The queen herself.
And I know she's not an anime.
No.
But I really want to talk about virtual idols. And when we were talking about like Hypmic, how Hypnosis Mic technically isn't an anime yet, but the idea is that you watch the YouTube music videos. And Miku is also a virtual idol in that way. And yeah, she's just so important to what idol culture is and how something can be such a phenomenon.
Absolutely.
So if you've never heard of Vocaloid or Miku and you've been under a rock since like 2007,
yes.
allow me to tell you who Miku is. So she is a virtual idol. So this means basically she is a voice software synthesizer called a Vocaloid. And using the voice actress Saki Fujita as a bass, you could basically control her voice, you control the pitch and the tone to make songs, make words into whatever you want. So you can create your own songs from there using Miku, which is this cute anime girl with teal hair, which everyone's seen everywhere.
Absolutely.
Iconic.
Absolutely iconic. This is some fun stuff that I looked up. I'm going to rattle you off a cool list of Miku things. So as of 2020, Miku sings in Japanese, English, and now Mandarin, which is quite recent last year. She's
Trilingual.
so she's trilingual. She's in over 100,000 unique songs. Now that's from 2017, so I'm sure that's upped a lot more.
Absolutely.
She's performed live, inverted commas, because you can project Miku onto a big glass screen and she can be a full-size dancer or even bigger, and she can dance around, and you can go and watch the online shows where they've made a virtual idol in real life and people are rocking out to Miku singing her songs on this big projection screen. It's really cool.
She's basically like the first like big hologram as
Yeah.
well to like kind of come out of Japan. They were
Yeah.
like, look at this cool thing that we can do,
So
and everyone
cool.
lost their mind.
And it looks amazing. Other things she's done, she's been on David Letterman. She's been in the game Just Dance. She's been in a song with Pharrell Williams. She's teamed up with Louis Vuitton. She's opened for a Lady Gaga concert. She's been in multiple animes and multiple game appearances. She's been in a Vocaloid opera. And she was also on the list for 2020 Coachella,
Unbelievable.
which was cancelled because of COVID. And I'm so sad. And I really want Miku to go to Coachella.
Now, I mean, they wouldn't have the glow pens, but could you imagine that
What
crowd
if they did
going
have the glow
off?
pens?
Ooh.
Coachella glow
I
glow
want
sticks.
Coachella glow
Could you
pens
imagine?
as leaks. I want leak lights. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because
the memes.
Miku and her leaks always.
But yeah, Vocaloids is something that really got me into idols like 10 years ago.
Vocaloid got me into anime. Miku was the first thing that I found before I got
think
into
that was
anime.
actually one of the first videos I've seen on YouTube as
Yep.
well.
Yeah. And she's lived on YouTube for so long.
Yeah.
People uploading the songs that they've made using the software, and it just then people would make video clips to match the song's lyrics, and it just is this huge, big online creator fan base that she has. And then there's all these other Vocaloids that they've made. I mentioned before that I was into Visual K and I loved Gact, and then they turned his voice into Gakupo, who was a Vocaloid, and he
Mwah.
was
Beautiful
beautiful, and I
man.
loved him a lot.
He's very good.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about Miku and how much she's great.
She's kind of the origins for a lot of people's idol and or anime and
The
like
origin
Japanese
story.
culture experience.
I mean, World is Mine is the most iconic
oh my
song
gosh,
in the
wow.
world. so-
Absolutely. That and Rolling Girl.
Yeah.
Rolling Girl, those two, R.I.P.
Okay, all this idol talk has got me a mad craving for
Yes.
watching some
Yeah,
live
same.
shows
Yes,
of idols on YouTube.
absolutely.
So how about we go do that?
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
So that's where we're going to leave things here for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Next episode is the summer anime season coming to an end, which means it's time for season in review. I'm so excited to talk about this season.
And as usual, we've all been watching a lot of shows this season, so it's time to talk about what we liked, what we loved, and what we didn't really like. And if you enjoyed listening, make sure you hit that like and subscribe to get our latest episodes straight to your device.
And don't forget to head over to our Instagram and Facebook pages for breaking anime news, memes, and videos.
You've been listening to Kawaii-Fi Radio. Thank you for joining us, and until next time,
Watch some anime!